I know you all are tired, and what I want you all to do is not write anymore. Don't write anything that I'm going to talk to you about. What I want you to do, if you would like, you can close your eyes and you can think about and picture yourself. If you're not an attorney, picture yourself being an attorney. So sit back and relax. But first, I'd like to thank Attorney Evangeline Mitchell for all of her hard work. Let's stand up. I want you all to stand up and give her the due that she deserves. Thank you. I've been knowing her for a long time. I remember when she started putting on these conferences, and I asked her, "Why are you doing this?" And she said, "Because I really want to help young people. I wish I had someone to help me when I was coming through. I wish I could have had an opportunity to meet judges, lawyers, professors, deans." And she has worked tirelessly at this. She really has. That's why when she calls me, I just do what she asks me to do. And I always support her. And I encourage other law schools to do the same. I'm very honored to be here tonight to talk to you all. I'm not going to talk long, but I like to inspire you. And I'm a storyteller also. I like to tell a little stories. I want to tell you a little story about me. I'm from Selma, Alabama. I grew up in segregation. I integrated my high school at 17. I remember Bloody Sunday. I marched with Dr. King. I remember Jose Williams. I remember John Lewis. I remember seeing people being killed. I remember horses being ran over top of people. I remember tear gas. I remember so much. I remember I saw this country at its worst, but it's our country and it's our history. It's not just black history. At an early age, I learned what black meant when I asked my father if I could have some ice cream, and he said no, and I asked him why, and he said because we're black. And I learned right away what black meant, because every time they mentioned black, it was bad. The old black book, the old black magic, the old black hat, and everything that was white was pure. I knew then I wanted to be a lawyer. I used to play outside and say, "I'm Perry Mason," because that's the only lawyer at that time, and I never lost a case. I wanted to fight so others would never have to go through what I went through. I left Selma at 17, shortly after I graduated from high school. I went to Baltimore, Maryland. I started off as a French fry girl there and worked my way up to one of the few women at that time being an assistant manager. But I mind you, growing up in Selma, I didn't have books a lot of time. So my education was not as good as it should have been. So when I left high school, I didn't even know my multiplication tables. So I started to go to college. I worked at Safeway. I left McDonald's and started working at Safeway. And in my junior year of college, I had a baby. So I used to work during the day, and I went to school at night. And I graduated #2 in my class, summa cum laude. I wanted to continue my work on at Vermont, continue my work on being a lawyer. And Vermont Law School at that time was trying to recruit, at that time, black students. I still consider myself black because I come from that era. They were trying to increase their minority. There had only been 2 other black people who had attended that law school. I was the 3rd black woman to graduate from there, and the 2nd black woman, the 3rd black person. I took a risk and a chance with Vermont Law School, and they took a risk and a chance with me. And I'm happy that I took that risk. I was down in Selma. My father did not want me to go up to Vermont because he said, "Why are you going to go up there? Those white people are going to kill you." He actually thought someone was going to kill me. So it was hard for me to get the money. I finally got the money, headed up to South Royalton, Vermont on a train, arrived in White River Junction at 2 o'clock in the morning with $21, had to pay the taxi driver $20 to get me to South Royalton, arrived in South Royalton, Vermont at 2 o'clock in the morning with $1 in my pocket, and the taxi driver kept riding me around the green, and Kendra, and you know too, Dean Bellamy, because you've been there, riding me around the green. Finally, he said, "Lady, I got to put you out." So he put me out in front of the law school, and these two girls pulled up, and they said, "Shirley Jefferson, we've been looking for you." And I was like, "Oh." They said, "We spotted you in the taxi." I said, "You spotted me in the taxi?" They said, I didn't know I was the only black person in town, and that's how they had spotted me in the taxi. So I never looked back that day. I met the dean in the driveway the next day. He said, "We've been waiting for you. We have an apartment for you. We have everything for you." I had nothing, and I never looked back, and I've never forgotten that day. And so I graduated from law school. I ended up coming back to D.C. because I had been to D.C. in '71. And I ended up working and meeting an amazing woman. These two know her, Wilhelmina Rolock, but her husband called her Wilhelmina Rolock because she was such a fighter. We had a little small law practice on 14th Street. We also, her husband, Calvin Rolock, which you worked for, you were on the board with, was the president of United Black Fund. After he passed away, she became president. I became the general counsel for that organization. And then shortly after that, my law school called for me to come back and work there. And so it's just been a long, amazing trip. I thank God every day for helping me to reach my dreams. And you all can do it too, because you all have more than I ever had. More than I ever had, and I expect you all to continue to reach your dream. If you stick with attorney Evangeline, she will help you to attain that dream. You just have to not give up. Be yourselves. You don't have to be all fancy and this and that. Just be yourself. Be hardworking. And be honest and be true to yourself. And there's a lot of causes for you all to get involved. You, young lady, you've been involved with Ferguson. You've been involved with whether there are two justice systems in this country, one for white, one for black. Every day you hear something about police brutality. And again, you mentioned Fisher and Grutter. Those assault on diversity. There's people out here who don't want diversity, and they're fighting it. Equal pay. Women still are not paid as much as men. Abortion rights are being chipped away. The Civil Rights Act of 1965, Section 4 is being chipped away, and they got these pre-clearance. All of these things. Freedom now, what's this religious freedom? Businesses can discriminate against gays and women. There are so many things that you all could do. You get out there. We're looking for leaders. We are gatekeepers. There's another gatekeeper right back there. She's Louise. We call her Louise, but she is there. She's at William Mitchell, which is another great law school. You can't get in if the gatekeepers don't get you in, and we're there getting you in. We're trying. Pick a school. It might not be, a lot of students want to go to Harvard, Georgetown, and you were the dean of Georgetown. I mean, but sometimes you can't. Think outside the box. Take a risk. Take a risk, because there will be people to help you along the way. I could not have made it without people helping me. And that's why I've dedicated my life to helping young people. And you all can do it. We're looking for the next generation of leaders. We're committed to training you. I train them. This is one of mine right here, and there's other ones. We know that you're out there. I'm looking at you. You're the leaders. You can use the power of the law to make a change in your community and this world, and we expect you to do it, so get out there and do it.